Welcome back to Watching the Throne on the Late Night Chat Network, episode 58. All right, welcome back, everybody. What's going on, Jay?
What's going on, Nico?
We're here in the wee hours of the night here, recording some more Watching the Thrones for
That's
you
actually
guys.
the color outside in the backyard on the balcony.
Yeah, we're in the studio again. We're together at my place, but just in a different room here today. So hence the different background. But yeah, we're here together. We're recording these episodes, and we got a great episode to talk about today, and the next one as well, guys. So make sure to stay tuned for that.
Thank you guys so
yeah,
much for
thank you.
tuning in.
We really appreciate all the views and people checking these shows out, and we're coming in on the last couple of episodes of season 6 here, and then we only have 13 episodes to go. 13 episodes to go left for the last 2 seasons of Game of Thrones 7 and 8, and I think we might have some more returning guests coming on for those, and we actually have a guest joining us who's been on previous episodes for the finale of this season, so stay tuned. I will announce that next episode.
And during the recording of this, they have the new trailer of season 2 of House of Dragons.
That's right, which I haven't seen yet. Jay has. I haven't seen it as of yet.
It'd be
but
so cool to just
so why don't
tease
you let
these
us
guys with them.
Yeah, go ahead. What? So at the time of this recording, because we do bank these, we are working ahead of schedule, guys. To give you a peek behind the curtain, the new season 2 trailer of House of Dragon just aired today. JT has seen it. I haven't seen it as of yet. What do you think?
I think it was interesting. I seen the characters again, and you remember, because it takes a while, like, to get used to. It's been so long. I feel like I almost have to go back and watch, like the last 2 episodes again of
Sure.
the first season.
Yeah.
To get the understanding. But
we're going to.
We
are going to.
We're getting a lot more dragons. We're getting a lot more action. Yeah, they kind of, I don't know. One of the pictures, he looked at me like he was a little older. The uncle there, it was a little different. I don't know if it was because it's 4 years later now.
Yeah.
But yeah, so
possible.
It could be everybody's just aging a bit, right? But yeah, no, we'll have to see what Nico thinks of it too when he sees it, and we'll have to go from there, right? Because
sorry, I just make sure something's on your mic. Yeah.
yeah. So you know what I mean. Everything from there should be easy breezy, man. It looks interesting, so I can't to wait to start watching it.
I know it's got another friend of ours who's been on the show, Christina, hyped about it. I know she had
for sure.
I was talking to her through Lewis here earlier, and he had mentioned that she had also seen it, and I guess is really hype about it. And stay tuned, guys. We are going to be talking about House of the Dragon season 1 as well prior to the release of season 2, and then we have plans to continue talking about the new season as it comes out, because we'll be all caught up at that point. So yeah, that'll be a lot of fun. So make sure to tune in for that, guys. I think by the time I'm recording this season, this show, we may take a break for a little bit and then do House of the Dragon season 1. And by then, hopefully we have a release date for season 2. So we'll air those episodes kind of, right leading up to the release of season 2. That's kind of what we have planned. Because if we can get that release date, we can plan to drop that weekly leading up to the release of season 2, and then kind of really, get pumped up for it. Hopefully everyone's looking forward to it as much as we are, because as we know, Jay first got introduced to Game of Thrones through House of the Dragon, right? That was his first exposure, and it's kind of what led us to start doing this show, because we already do these videos here on the Late Night Chat. Right?
That's the thing. House of Dragons too, as well, too. It ended up taking me where I had to do the week to week thing, like you guys. Right. So I kind of know what it feels like, and now with the second season coming out, I think I'm gonna be more antsy about it.
Sure.
And one of those guys that's gonna call Nico after I watch the episode, or like literally video call him while it's on, going, what the fuck's going on?
Yeah.
And he's gonna end up hitting the end or something on me. But it's yeah, you know where I'm going with that, but I can't wait. I honestly, it's
Yeah,
been too long,
I'm looking forward to it.
and I'm waiting. If they do come out with that spin-off, it'd be nice too as
There's
well.
there's other spinoffs that they've been talking about. Yeah, I mean, there's another one called the Hedge Knight that they've been teasing, and they want to do one on one of the characters, which I won't mention. You may have already seen who which character it's based off of,
I
but
can't even think
I
of
just
it.
don't even want to mention it because that may get you to think whether or not they're alive or not. You know what I mean? So I just don't want to. By the end of this show, I will say it's somebody that's in the show right now. It is someone of the
Yes,
characters that's in the show right now and it's a guy clearly,
yes.
but I will say that, and I'm sure you can figure it out for yourself. But it's apparently there's another spinoff in the works, but it hasn't been confirmed. But it's been a rumor for years. So like I think if this House of the Dragon continues to be successful, we with there can be many spinoffs, right?
That's what
And
I
I'm
mean.
I'm here for it. And I think it's just because I think it works well because there's so many other things they've alluded to as we've seen in this show, Game of Thrones, and like history, and it's such a big world. They really can, I think, support other shows. Like unlike things like Walking Dead, where I feel like they overdid it. Like I jumped ship a little earlier on. I know there's still fans of that show out there. There's still people that like
We're
it, but
finally ending some of it, so that'll be nice.
yeah, I just think like just because you're doing different parts of the country, it's the same type of show. Like
Yeah,
this is a little different.
yeah.
You know what I mean? Like this is like, you know what I mean? I
Time
think
frames.
yeah, and families and different types of characters that we've never seen. And I know you get that
Yeah.
on a show like Walking Dead with the spinoffs too. It's just like I don't think that world is honestly as as interesting as this
Fictional,
one.
maybe, I
Yeah,
guess.
yeah, yeah. That's
So,
more based on like real world type
as yeah,
stuff.
more real
Yeah, this
life
is
sort of
fantasy.
situation. I
This is
mean,
not that that's
somewhat.
fantasy. That's
Yeah,
fantasy too, but you know what I
yeah,
mean. Like,
somewhat.
there's no zombies yet, but
We don't know. There was that whole, Epsom salt situation,
that's
right?
that's
So,
right. So okay, well, let's get into it though. Without further ado, this episode,
and I
this
do have the right episode this time, guys.
great.
I did keep on post. I
That's
just
right.
apologize that because I think that was released this week.
Yeah, well, it would have been 2 weeks ago, but yes,
Yes,
yeah, if you guys tune in for that, that's the episode. Unfortunately, the first one that Jay walked into the conversation having thought he'd seen the episode, but technically he'd seen the episode that came after, which was our last episode last week, episode 7. So yeah, anyways,
crazy.
it's okay, it happens, it happened. Let's move on. Okay, today we're going to be talking about Game of Thrones season 6, episode 8, and this episode is called No One. And Jay, do you have when this one aired? Did you end up writing that down for this
No, I
one?
didn't get. I wanted to
Okay,
focus on the fucking input. I don't want to hit the wrong button again and
yeah,
just.
not a problem.
I wanted to do it. I think it was 2016, but I'm thinking August, if I'm not mistaken. If I'm not wrong, if I'm not completely wrong,
Yeah,
I'm thinking August. I'd have to check it up on my
yeah. And
actual site.
if
But
you want to look it up while we're
yeah,
chatting,
while you
feel
guys,
free. But yeah, so this is and of course this is episode 58 of Watching the Throne. We've now put out officially, Jay, what more episodes than a year worth of this show that we've started this past
this
year.
has been
Yeah, yeah,
fun.
yeah.
This
It's been
has
a lot of
been
fun.
a really good experience for me.
It has been it is a lot of work too as well. Like
That's
I
what I
know,
mean about
yeah,
experience.
yeah.
You know what I mean?
It is a lot of
I
work.
show
Like
people how much writing I don't even read that
yeah,
much.
like I don't. I would like to continue. I'm committed to continuing this for the House of the Dragon and Game of Thrones related shows. I know we've talked about maybe doing other shows in this format, and I would like to. I just think that we're gonna have to take some time in between, just because this has been a big undertaking, right? Like I know we used to do the movie reviews and
Yeah,
stuff too, which I kind of want to get back to at some point. But honestly, like the fact that anybody's commented on this, we've had people check them out, and the support is it's been really nice for
I'm
us to
pushing us.
yeah, it
It's
really
giving us the
has. Yeah.
drive. Look,
So
it's giving me the drive to actually take notes and write. You know that there's not very many things that do that, and you can
yeah.
ask Nico and he'll vouch for that.
Yeah. So
But yeah, this one was aired on 2016, 6/12. So I guess
June 12th.
June 12th.
Yeah. So
Yes,
there you go. It
actually,
originally
that's
aired.
no, that was close. That's the day after. My nephew's birthday's on the next day, the
Oh,
following day,
okay.
so it just threw me off for a sec.
So yeah, so that's when this show episode originally aired, and as I mentioned, season 6, episode 8.
Hmm.
Really coming to the end of this one here, and this was a very interesting episode. What do you think of this overall? This one?
This one, yeah, I like this. I like the ending. Got me pretty hyped up, right? So I can't wait to see what's going to go on with that thing. So, but yeah, you get a little bit of everything in this one. It gets it's not as exciting as our following episode, but But yeah, this one I still found very interesting with the whole Arya situation and stuff. So
Yeah.
I can't wait to see what goes on from that and there on out, because
Yeah.
it's the return of somebody, and we won't mention the name until the end.
So this first scene here, we're in Bravos. And speaking of Arya, and hence the name of this episode being No One.
Mhm.
The acting troupe are once again performing The Bloody Hand with Lady Crane, playing Cersei, mourning the death of Joffrey. However, unlike the previous version, it is edited as Arya proposed, with Lady Crane, Cersei promising revenge. And this is kind of, what Arya had advised her previously, when she kind of got to know this lady. And
Yeah.
after the scene, Lady Crane walks off stage where she sees her nursing her injuries at the hands of the waif and seeking refuge with Lady Crane. Arya is then treated by Crane, and they have a brief conversation about what they're going to do in the future.
Yeah.
Lady Crane asks Arya to join the play company, which is going to Pentos. Arya warns Lady Crane about dangers that will be coming to both of them. Finally, Lady Crane tries to give Arya the milk of the poppy, which Arya first rejects, but accepts after being told that sleep is the only way for the wound to heal. And of course, she's coming to her
The milk of the poppy. I want some of that.
after the result of her getting attacked by Jaqen H'ghar is kind of person that she works for him.
Bitch.
And at the end of the last episode, right, we seen her get stabbed up, and she's kind of was bleeding out and through the streets. So this
What do
is
you
kind
say?
of the outcome of that.
We don't see somebody die. We don't know, right?
That's right. Yeah, that's very true. That's kind of the what I go by in terms of Game of Thrones, right? That's if you don't see them die on screen, there's always a possibility they're still in play, right?
Of course.
So yeah, so that's what ends up happening in this scene. She gives her the milk of the poppy, kind of to soothe her pain for a little bit, and she kind of conks out on the bed there in the back of her, the area where they're all set up, these actors. So, and then we go over to the Riverlands.
Mhm.
Several men, including Gatons, and Morgan, members of the Brotherhood Without Banners, who took part in the massacre of the villagers, are exchanging jokes over a campsite fire. Yeah, and this is where we left. We left the Hound the last episode, right? He kind of went back to that town and seen all these people slaughtered that he had warned him about.
Yeah.
While joking about sex, the four men are set upon by an axe-wielding Sandor Clegane, aka the Hound, who has come to exact revenge for the murder of the villagers. He kills two of them before they can even react and dispatches Morgan after a brief scuffle. Sandor then brings his axe up in a powerful swing and buries it in the one guy's groin. Bro, he fucking fucks them up, spilling his innards on the ground. He demands to know where the one with the yellow cloak is and gets a fuck you in response. The Hound points out that those are terrible last words and gives him one chance to do better. After a moment's thought, he calls him a cunt. He remarks that he's shit at dying before cutting him down.
Dude, that was my. But you know what? That was the joke that he made to the guys by the fire there, making the joke about the fucking. He goes and does something, and he tells him something, and then he goes and sticks his finger up his butt. Did you see when he does the reach around and he does the joke, and I thought he was gonna give him like some sort of a wedgie, and I'm thinking these guys don't have underwear. I don't think back then. And then he puts his finger in his butt and he's kind of smelling it after, like, he's made this whole joke on it. And I was like, fucking, this is a little bit of a weird scene. And then the Hound says, okay, and then comes in and kills them all too. Man. It's just like, fuck this.
That was weird. Yeah.
It was a little like, I don't know what kind of.
What was going on? What we interrupted there?
There was an Englishman and this and and then he just shit. And all of a sudden, didn't even make sense, the joke.
No. So thank God he killed them all.
Yeah, we don't need that finger butt sticking.
Then we're back in Meereen. In the streets of Meereen, the Red Priestesses preach that Daenerys Targaryen has been sent by R'hllor to end slavery. Tyrion Lannister and Varys enter the marketplace where the debate merits Tyrion's hiring of fanatics to keep order on Meereen. Varys is leaving on a secret expedition because Daenerys needs friends in Westeros. He parts with Tyrion before reaching the docks, as his expedition would not remain secret if he was seen with the most famous dwarf in the city. As he leaves, Tyrion corrects him, the most famous dwarf in the world.
Yeah, in the world. Like, he told him, because he's like, I mean, fuck, he's,
He's well
right
known.
now,
Yeah.
he's probably in this show, when this show was out, he probably was the most famous dwarf in the world at that point.
Oh yeah, I think in terms of
Sorry, little people.
I
but
think
yes.
in terms of actors, I
Yeah.
think he is,
Oh, yeah,
honestly.
for
So
sure. Well
he
known.
was recently in the new a Hunger Games prequel movie as well.
Yeah,
I don't know
I'm
if you
waiting
saw
for-
that. I'm waiting to
I'm
watch
wait- yeah,
that.
I'm
I would
waiting for
like to
that
see
one,
that.
too.
Yeah. He is apparently in that. So
Yeah.
that's very interesting.
I was wondering why they just re-released the older ones. They keep promoting them on like fucking
Yeah, on
other
sites.
Netflix and stuff, right?
Qyburn, now we're in King's Landing. Qyburn informed Cersei of the Faith Militant having been permitted entry to the Red Keep, and they demand to see Cersei. Among the Faith Militant is Lancel, who tells Cersei that the High Sparrow would like to speak to her in the Sept of Baelor. However, Cersei refuses, even when Lancel warns her that it was a command and not a request. Cersei retorts that the High Sparrow promised that she could stay in the Red Keep until her trial, to which Lancel replies that no such promise was made. When Sir Gregor Clegane, aka the Mountain, threatens the Faith Militant, Lancel tells Cersei to order him aside or there would be violence. Bro, this guy had balls. I know. I would never. I'd be like, all right, I'll just leave then.
It's like yellow eyes, man. He's just fucking huge.
Finally, we got to see him in action, though, on this one. That was good.
Not
I'm glad.
much,
It was
but
overdue.
yeah.
It was overdue, though. Cersei refuses to let the Kingsguard stand down. One of the Faith Militant proceeds to attack him in the chest, penetrating his armor, but Gregor seems unharmed. In retaliation, the Kingsguard rips off his head, forcing Lancel and his men to stand down. Bro, he ripped the guy's heads off. What do you mean, not much?
He didn't need nothing. He didn't need a weapon, nothing. He just grabbed him. That guy had balls.
He's a monster.
Stepped up to him, yes, and he just ripped his fucking head off like it was nothing.
Bro, that was the best. He's like,
that was like a Mortal Kombat move.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, fatality.
Yeah, the mountain wins.
Yeah, exactly. That's right. It's a good one. All right, next up we got meanwhile,
Podrick.
Yeah, Brienne of Tarth and Podrick Payne travel to Riverrun to deliver Sansa Stark's letter to Brynden Tully. Upon arriving, they discover that the Lannisters and the Freys are besieging the castle. Soon they are surrounded by several Lannister horsemen. I love these scenes in this episode between her. I mean, we're gonna get to it, but I you know what? Like, I didn't realize it. That's one of my favorite relationships in the show is her and Jamie. I love it. I think it's great.
I think the four of them also have a great relationship and speaking to. Like, I mean, they should have their own fucking kingdom. I mean, and this is me watching for the first time because it's the most interesting, and not interesting, but more intriguing in the sense of the way they act towards each other. It's like everybody has their own beliefs, but they all get to agree with each other, for one thing.
Upon arriving, they discover that the Lannisters and Fraser are besieging the castle. Soon they are surrounded by several Lannister horsemen. Brienne tells them that she has come to see Sir Jaime Lannister and that she has come to return his sword, Oathkeeper. While Brienne speaks with Jaime, Podrick is waiting in the camp when he is suddenly put in a chokehold by an unseen figure who is revealed to be Bronn. The sellsword is happy to see him and playfully, jokes about him and about sex and his fighting skills before Bronn offers to give Podrick a lesson in dirty fighting, the kind that he will really need, not the formal kind that Brienne has been giving him for 2 hours a day.
Yeah.
And he mentions the whole thing about, you're the one with the magical cock or whatever, right? Like, what this whole thing about, how all the horrors said that he wowed them in the bedroom, like, right? So.
But then he says he's going to, you think Jaime and Brienne.
That's later. That's afterwards. That's afterwards. Directly after, which we're gonna get to right now. Yes, he asked them if he thought they were fucking. Yeah. So Jaime and Brienne meet discreetly in a tent while Brienne has found Sansa. Their situation is complicated by a bounty that Cersei Lannister has placed on Sansa's head. Brienne tells Jaime that she has come to secure Bryndon's help in seeking reinforcements for her campaign to retake Winterfell from the Boltons. This is not possible because Jaime is laying siege to Riverrun. So she can't basically ask them for help because they're involved in something right now, right?
Yeah.
Brienne convinces Jamie to let her negotiate with the Blackfish so that Brynden and his men can leave the castle at night to travel to Winterfell. Jamie agrees to grant Brynden safe passage, but says that he has to surrender by nightfall. And he basically says like he's the Blackfish is so fucking stubborn, he doesn't think she's gonna get anywhere with him. But she's like, yeah, okay, I'll give you,
He is a stubborn guy.
yeah,
he's
he
not
really
wrong.
is. He really is. But he's like, yeah, go ahead, have fun. I'll give you a day, right? So he says to her,
Yeah.
like, yeah, all right. Brienne also tries to return her sword, Oathkeeper, because it was, it was lent to her because and it has been fulfilled. The reason that it was lent to her, she got Sansa back. That's the whole reason Jamie gave it to her. Instead, Jamie tells her to keep it because it is hers. She reminds him that should she fail to get the Blackfish to surrender, her oath to Lady Catelyn Stark would compel her to fight against Jamie. Clearly moved by his admiration for her, Jamie replies, "Let's hope it doesn't come to that." That was a great scene,
and then
man.
I put in brackets though because I want to save that for later. I'm like, fuck, I want to see if they're gonna have to fight each other because you never know with this fucking show, right? So at that point, I'm like, you know what? I'm gonna see what, and I'm not gonna look at you or nothing, okay? So I wrote it in brackets because there's certain things that I do that to now that I want to know because I feel like it's leading me to something that might be coming up soon, so I want to pay attention. That's a specific thing. That was a specific thing because it was kind of a sweet thing. He made sure that he didn't take the sword back. Like
Yeah.
I really think they do have a good bond, and that's why I feel like they might fucking fight each other. And that's the thing that's tripping me out, right?
It's interesting. I'm looking at my notes here, and something I wrote here actually is that Jamie. I just wrote that Jamie swept up in some other shit now, and it's too late for them.
Mm.
That's what the feeling I got from this scene was like
Yeah, it was
Jamie.
like they were almost wanted to be together.
I wrote that here because I'm like, I kind of felt that in this scene where he's just like, well, let's hope it doesn't come to that. Like, he's always so cordial when he sees her. He's always like, we see a side of Jamie I don't think we see in any other scenes when he sees her. Like, I just feel like he has such an admiration for who she is.
Respect.
Yeah, I don't think he really has that for anybody else because for his sister, he lusts after her. Like it's a lust aspect. He's in love with her, but this woman he actually respects. Like I don't think he respects his sister. Like I think he knows that she's fucking like vicious.
Yeah,
you know what I mean. Like, and he's actually a much nicer person than her, like when it comes to many situations, right? I mean, I know it's fucked up what he did to her and shit like that. He can't he's forced himself on her and shit like that, like you know what I mean. But like again, I think it's just that something takes him over when it comes to her, whatever the fuck that is. I know that's fucked up, but it's a sister. But like other than that, like I think he's actually a pretty stand-up dude in many situations, like you know what I mean. Like
there's a reason that he put him out there to talk and do certain things. But isn't Brienne, wasn't she, did she ever say she was into men, or they just know we found her attractive, or she never was?
No, I think it's been alluded to that she's into men. Yeah, because like she said, there was a lot of men that were trying to court her earlier because of her father is, but then she found out they were all making fun of her behind her backs, and she clearly is interested. Yeah, so to your point, we haven't seen her hook up with any men, so maybe she's into women.
That's what I was throwing me off.
But I think even she said that she loved what's his name, even though he was a gay guy, like her what's her name's brother. No, sorry, the other Baratheon. The other Baratheon. Yeah, I forgot his name.
The one that's in jail, no?
No, the one who's dead. The one that she served originally. The other brother. The other Baratheon, not Stannis. Not Robert. There's a third one. That's the one she fucking who got killed by the ghost.
I just remember they said it too in this one.
Yeah. So she was in love with him. So that's what I mean. Like Renly. Thank you. Yeah, good shit. Yeah, good call. And you're right. Earlier in that scene, I did miss my quote here. You're right. They did say that quote in the other scene. You're on your game here tonight. So I had two quotes here. When Bran sees him, he's like, Podrick fucking paid. I thought you'd be dead by now, right? And also, like you said, I think where he just comes up to him and before the tent scene, cuts to the tent scene, he's like, are they fucking? He just asks him straight up. He's like, yeah, are they? Right. Anyways, Brienne and Podrick in this next scene enter Riverrun to negotiate with the Blackfish. However, Brynden refuses to relinquish his ancestral seat. Brienne then tells him of her oath to aid his grandniece Sansa and shows him Sansa's letter. While sympathetic to his grandniece, The Blackfish is unable to help. Brienne then tells Podrick to get a maester to fetch a raven and send a message to Sansa telling her that she failed to secure help from Brynden. I wrote here, I love Brienne's determination at all times. It's very admirable. I think she really tries. Like if I heard that she tried and she failed, I would not be upset because I feel like she really fucking goes out of her way like every time, like to try to like see things through.
Oh yeah,
You
when
know what
she
I
tells
mean?
you, she gives you her oath. She gives you
Yeah.
her oath.
She always does the best that she can in any
Yeah,
situation,
I noticed
right?
that,
Yeah. So I think she's a really stand-up person for sure.
When are they gonna kill her now? That's what happens. A stand-up person's gonna
Yeah,
always die.
you're not wrong. You're not wrong. All right. Next up, we got back in King's Landing, later on, Cersei, Qyburn, and Sir Gregor enter the Great Hall to find a large crowd as there was a royal announcement. Cersei asks Kevin Lannister why she was not informed. Kevin bars her from standing beside her son and tells her that her place was in the gallery with the other ladies of the court. Cersei reluctantly takes her place there while the other women hurry aside, not wanting to be near her or the mountain.
Mm.
King Tommen Baratheon starts by saying that the crown and the faith are the two pillars that hold up this world, and should one collapse, so does the other. He also says that the Father judges them all, and if they break his laws, they shall be punished. He announces that Loras Tyrell and Cersei's trial will be held in the Sept of Baelor on the first day of the Festival of the Mother. Trial of his own fucking mother, bro. He's just delivering it. That news.
Yeah, and he's not even allowed to, and he's changing the style of trial in the way that you can ask for it. Anybody taking that combat
So
away.
what do you think's driving him right now? Is he also brainwashed or convinced of the use of the new religion, or is it his wife that's the one that's
I think it's
pushing
a
him?
little bit of
He's
both.
pussy whipped. Like
I think it could be a little bit of
I
both.
agree with you.
To be
I agree
honest
with
you,
you. I think
she's
it's a bit of
pushing him,
both. Yeah.
and then the faith is actually hooking him, right?
But there was a hint last episode that it's possible that her actual belief in this faith is fake. So she's really driving.
Well, I feel that, yeah, I think that they're just playing the act so they can get themselves out. Because she said that she kind
But
of
I don't think
alluded to that.
Tommen's in on the
No,
act. Is
but
what
I
I'm
think-
saying. I
But
think
what she
she's
did
in
was
on
she said
it.
to tell her brother. Remember, she told her brother to hold on a couple episodes back
Yes.
and just be strong.
Yes.
So then that's when she got to talk to Tommen.
And she told her mother to fuck off out of the city. She's like,
Yeah.
get out of here, right?
Yeah,
Like,
and then she told Tommen to be strong,
yeah,
right, and say something about it. So he finally switched up and talked to them because
right.
she had changed, right?
Right.
But she has never. She's trying to avoid that whole walk through the city thing. She
Right.
tried to, you know what I mean. So I don't know what's gonna happen, right? So we'll see, right?
We'll
Because
see.
now that he took the trial of like
And
combat, and that nobody would have won,
And
right?
as we know, they don't address it in the next episode. So this is going to be
No.
some finale shit. This
That's what I
whatever's
mean.
going to
There's
go
a
down
few
here,
things
right?
that's why I want to make sure that I wrote stuff down because then
Yeah.
I noticed that afterwards you didn't see it in the next episode.
Right. But then after much prayer and reflection, he also announces he has decided that trial by combat will be forbidden in the Seven Kingdoms. Like you said, he changed the rules and all that, calling it a scheme made by those who want to escape true judgment from the gods. That's what I mean. He's just a mouthpiece for the religious guy right now. I feel like at this point, right?
No more
Like,
hanging, you know what I mean? No more sort of things like that.
Yeah.
Like, and they take away public hangings and stuff.
And it's interesting though, because if you actually look at it that way, we're actually seeing the same move to change ways of how they run things, not only in this side of the world, but also by Daenerys on hers with the slave trade and everything else, right? Not to say that these are for the same, like he thinks he's trying to make it better. He thinks that, and maybe it is. Like I agree that some of this shit, but really what it's doing is fucking his mother over, because his mother was planning on making the mountain fight for her in trial by combat, but now she can't even say that, right? So
that was the whole plan.
Yeah, and that Loras and Cersei would stand trial before seven septons, as it was in the earlier days of the faith. As the king leaves, Qyburn tells a shocked Cersei, who, there you go, had been planning on calling for a trial by combat with Gregor as her champion, that his little birds have been investigating an old rumor that she had told them about, and that it was found to be much more than a rumor. So that should be interesting, whatever that is. that's it for King's Landing this episode. So we don't actually see what that is this episode. So
No.
again, I actually forgot about that because I went on to watch the next episode after this, and that is interesting. Whatever is going to be revealed there in the finale, I guess, right? Because we don't touch on any of the King's Landing things in the episode 9. I'll tell you that right now, guys. So, what else? What's next here? Where are we at?
Tyrion having drinks with them.
Oh yeah, this is a fun scene.
Yeah.
Later, Tyrion meets up with his advisors, Grey Worm and Missandei, at the Great Pyramid. He offers to share drinks with them to celebrate the resurgence of the city. When they express a reluctance, Tyrion convinces them to do it in honor of their queen. Grey Worm complains of the taste, while Tyrion boasts of starting up with his own vineyard once Daenerys has conquered the 7 kingdoms. He asks Grey Worm and Missandei to tell jokes, but they do not know how to.
Yeah.
He makes a joke about Westeros lords, but Grey Worm expresses puzzlement, and it becomes clear he doesn't know what a joke is. Missandei explains, then realizing she is enjoying the wine, she tells her own joke about 2 translators.
Yeah.
And she's kind of getting into it, she's having the wine. She's like, oh, I like this wine, blah, blah, blah. They're having a good time finally, right? Tyrion feigns amusement, but Grey Worm says that it was the worst joke that he has ever heard, in like a very
straight
Drax type way. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
like
pure
kind of
straight
yeah,
face.
very like yeah. Like Drax from Guardians, how he's so very
yeah.
like matter of fact, yeah.
Like really, like that was the worst.
And then
joke
to
I
that,
have
like
ever
until
heard.
that, she like laughs. They all start laughing. As the others react with confusion, he reveals that he was making his own joke.
Yeah.
Missandei laughs, and Grey Worm himself smiles. Right, it was a nice moment.
That was like his. Yeah, that was his version of a joke. That was the worst.
Yeah, I like
You couldn't
Tyrion.
understand it.
I like Tyrion's quotes in this scene too. He's like, "Why don't you drink? Why don't either of you never drink?"
Yeah. He's pounding them back, and he's having his own good time.
Yeah.
But I like that he got them to drink.
Yeah, I love these awkward, I like these moments with them, because this is like the second time we've gotten a moment where he's just alone with them and he's just like lighting up, guys. Like, come on, like, and they're always so confused as to like what he's asking of them, right? I also like the name of his wine that he was proposing, the Imp's Delight.
The Imp's Delight, yeah. Oh, I know. He wanted his own vineyard. That's what he wants, man. But no, they what's his name got it good too. Grey Worm. He said it that it does taste kind of moldy, which that's how you do it. You're fermenting it, right?
Mm-hmm.
So he was kind of like bang on with it, as opposed to thing who said, and she just, oh man, they just started drinking after. That was interesting. That was a nice little thing to add to him.
It was a fun scene, but of course it had to end this way. Yeah, before Tyrion can tell another joke, they hear the sound of bombardment. Looking outside, they see a large fleet of ships from Astapor, Yunkai, and Volantis. Missandei tells Tyrion that the slavers have come to reclaim their property.
He was right.
As soon as they start to let loose for once, these assholes have to show up and do that. And you're right, they did retaliate.
They did, yeah.
I just like that moment too. Like Missandei is like, more jokes, and he's like, oh, all right, I'll bust out some more jokes. They're having a nice time. They're actually, letting their hair down for a moment, right? But unfortunately, that's what ends up happening, right? No rest for these guys, right?
No, fucking sucks.
But fun scene nonetheless. I liked it. So
yeah.
Next up, we got later Jaime visits the captive Edmure Tully and apologizes for the conduct of the phrase. Edmure is still defiant and insists that his uncle will not surrender River Run because he's fucking stubborn. Jaime then informs Edmure that he has sired a son with Rosalind Tully. If Edmure can convince the Blackfish and the garrison to surrender, he offers to allow Edmure and his family to live in a comfortable exile at Casterly Rock. He also offers to give Edmure's son a proper education and some lands for when he comes of age, like a typical Lannister, just throwing money at the situation. Right?
Why not?
When Edmure denounces Jaime as an evil man, Jaime responds that he would let the gods decide. Edmure then asks Jaime how he sleeps at night after all the bad things he has done. This is an interesting scene, too. Jaime then recounts his time as a captive of Lady Stark and how she struck him with a stone. Of course, Catelyn was his sister.
Yeah.
Despite her hatred for him, he came to respect her for her undying love of her children.
How good she was.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Jaime compares Catelyn's love for her children to Cersei Lannister's love for her own.
Yeah, right.
He then reiterates that he loves Cersei so much that he would kill any Tully that stands in his way.
She's getting so fucking fucked, bro.
Yeah, it's kind of interesting too that like now he's very open about his relationship with the sister because like, at this point it's just like everyone
Everybody
fucking knows.
knows.
Yeah,
Yeah.
whatever. So
Whatever, man. They know they have a bastard child and all that.
Jaime then issues his final ultimatum to Edmure. If the Tullys do not surrender, he will catapult his son over the wall and kill every Tully who stands between him and Cersei. Jaime then leaves to let Edmure make up his mind. He seemingly accepts Jaime's offer and walks back to the castle with a torch. He announces himself as the rightful lord and convinces the guards to lay down and the drawbridge, despite the protests of his uncle Brynden. The guards obey Edmure because they have sworn an oath of fealty to Hoster Tully and his son. The guards lower the drawbridge and Edmure enters the castle. Back at the Lannister and Frey lines, Lothar Frey criticizes Jaime for losing their most valuable hostage. Once inside, Edmure climbs the ramparts and orders the Tully garrison to lower the drawbridge and surrender to the Lannisters and the Freys. Jaime and the Lannister and Frey's hosts then march into Riverrun and occupy the castle, draping the Lannister and Frey banners all over the walls. I thought this was a great surrender scene, Jay. And honestly, like the first, I feel like that we've seen amongst all the battles that we've seen on this show. Like there's very few where we actually got like a conversation and a proper surrender. I feel like we did in this scene, and it actually showed another side once again of Jaime being a tactical kind of guy as well in that sense. Like he's like, listen, we can fucking go to war if we want, but like, why are we doing this? You got to go do this, and like this is how we'll kind of come in, we'll work it out, and you know what I mean, we'll take over and whatever. Like it just, I thought on his part it was just impressive, and we hadn't really seen many moments like this in battles as of yet on this show, right? So very different approach. Edmure then orders his men to find and put the Blackfish in chains and hand them over to the Freys. However, the Blackfish has already escaped, and at one of the castle's exits, he helps Brienne and Podrick into a boat. Great scene.
Yeah.
Great scene. Brienne then tries to convince Brynden to come along, but he insists on not running away from his fight. He tells Brienne to continue serving Sansa and assures her that she will do a better job of it than he has done. As Brienne and Podrick escape, the Blackfish stays behind for a final stand against several Lannister soldiers. On the ramparts, Jaime is informed of the Blackfish's death. He then sees Brienne and Podrick rowing away on their boat. He quietly waves goodbye to Brienne as she waves back as he sees her. I just like how he's seen her. He's like, we would have to fight against each other, and he lets her go, Jay. Like, I just love that moment. He's just like, he could have sent people after her, right? He's just like, he's like, no.
It's so weird too. You don't really see the fight, right? Like that would have liked to see the fight, kind of. Because
you're right.
With his one hand, right?
I know, no, but it's not Jaime that fights the Blackfish. A lot of people, other guys of his men fight the Blackfish.
I would have liked to see somebody get.
I agree,
because he
got killed off screen. Prick, right? I know. I don't love when people get killed off screen either.
No,
but
I felt like that was a little bit rushed.
I agree. No, that's a good comment. It's funny because he even built it up because he had that quote there where he's like, I haven't had a proper sword fight in years. Yeah. I expect I'll make a damn fool of myself, right?
That's right. I said, you don't even see the fight. Like, what the fuck?
Yeah. No, you're right. That's actually a good comment. You're right. Because it would have been nice to see him get like cut down like in that moment. Yeah. Like go out on top type of thing. Yeah, no, for sure. No, I agree with you. But I did like the wave of them in the boat, like looking back at him, like as he's on top of the the castle, right? So that was really nice. Oh man, this they can't hook up these two, eh? It doesn't work out with them.
It's not meant to be. Or yet.
By evening, the slavers' fleet are using weapons to bombard the city, causing much damage to Meereen. Admitting that diplomacy has failed, Tyrion lets Grey Worm take command of the battle, and Grey Worm proposes defending the pyramid instead of fighting on the beach. At that point, they hear movement on the roofs. After venturing out into the balcony, they discover that Daenerys has returned with her dragon, Drogon, at the worst possible fucking time. At the worst possible fucking time. Yeah, well, they put Danny here because they're using it as like her nickname, I guess. And
it's always funny.
Honestly, Tyrion fucking finally slips up, like after a long, like, he's had a lot of success.
Yeah.
And bad timing on his part for her to come back at this moment. She's like, I left you in charge. This is what fucking happens,
Yeah,
right?
exactly. Yeah, it's on fire, the fucking place.
Not looking good. Yeah,
No.
right. That's not very good timing. Back in the Riverlands, Sandor, aka the Hound, stumbles upon a forest clearing where he finds that 7 members of the Brotherhood, including their leaders, Beric, of course, who we've met, and Thoros, the guys with the flame sword and the Lord of the Light guys, are in the process of hanging Lem and 2 other renegades for their role in the unauthorized attack on the Riverlands village. As the 3 condemned men stand on blocks with nooses around their neck, the Hound explains that he killed his friend and therefore he wants to kill the men himself.
Yeah.
He wants to inflict a harsher death upon them than hanging, but Beric stops him. Out of respect for his loss, he agrees to let him kill 2 of the men. However, Thoros refused to let him butcher them. He complains, pointing out that in the days gone by, he would have killed all 7 of them to get his way, but ultimately agrees to let them simply hang them. Muttering that having them hanged is too quick, he kicks the blocks from underneath the feet of the 2 men, including Lem, and takes Lem's boots for himself as the body is still twitching. That was cold-blooded, yeah.
But I thought about it too. I was like,
what's he gonna use them for?
The most important thing is his boots.
In this world, yeah, they're walking around everywhere.
If they're walking,
absolutely.
there could be some Prada shooting boots. You never know, man. He needs the Timberlands.
I mean, listen, he was like he did one of those classic, like, put the boot against your shoe to see if it's the same size type thing. Man. Yeah, all right.
It's like,
this look good.
Perfect. Those will fit.
I love that.
Look nicer.
I love that. I agree. Beric kicks out the block of the 3rd man afterwards. What did I put here? Oh yeah, I just love the way that the Hound talks to people. He's like, drop that arrow, you bloody girl.
Yeah.
He's got like an English accent. Yeah. And then he's like, and then I like too, like, where he's just talking about how, like, all people that he's like, they all bloody die except for this one here, the one that keeps coming and brings brought back to life. I love the Hound, man. I'm glad he's back. These are good scenes.
He's been around.
Yeah, I like the Hound. After the executions, he joins the Brotherhood for a meal by a creek. Beric suggests that he should join up with the Brotherhood and that they are fighting for a greater cause, and that cold winds are rising in the north. Sandor is skeptical of their chances of success and distrusts them due to his earlier encounter with them. Beric recognizes that he's a warrior and tells him that they are fighting against things that seek to destroy all life. He tells him that it is not too late for him to help. So maybe his future lies with the Brotherhood now, right?
We just leave him at that right now, too.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah. All right.
There we go.
Back to Braavos here in the ending of the episode. The following morning, Lady Crane is standing on a chair, fetching some medicine from a high shelf. When she sees a man in her room, Arya wakes up, startled by a crash. She finds her brutally murdered and apparently impaled onto the legs of the chair she had been standing on. The man turns out to be the waif who calls out Arya for not carrying out her mission so that Lady Crane could have died less violently, and now she has come to kill her. Arya leaps out the window and flees onto the streets. She rolls under a wagon and flees into a bathhouse, but is unable to outrun her, who is closing in on her. Arya barely manages to stay ahead and rolls down a broad flight of stairs, overturning several baskets of vegetables in the process. Were you scared for her in this scene or what?
Because I didn't know what was going on. Like, her stomach is still fucked up too, right? So
were you concerned?
Yeah, a little bit.
Landing hard, Arya's wound reopens and she flees into an alleyway. She uses her bloody hand to leave a trail to a doorway, luring her into a darkened room that is lit by a candle. She soon catches up with her, closing the heavy door. She tells Arya that she has choose to die on her knees, or to choose to die on her knees or on her feet. She rises to her feet, retrieving her sword needle from its hiding place under a blanket. With one quick slice of needle, she slices the top of the candle off, and the room is plunged into total darkness. Did you like that move?
That's smooth. I didn't see where she got the knife right away from.
Later, Jaqen H'ghar enters the Hall of Faces to find a trail of blood.
This is weird.
Yeah, he eventually finds that Arya has murdered and ripped off the waif's face and stuck it onto one of the shelves. Arya has also gouged out her eyes with her sword and then confronts Jaqen, who admits sending the waif to kill her. He then tells Arya that she has finally become no one and has passed the test to join the Faceless Men. However, Arya corrects him and says that she is Arya Stark of Winterfell and that she is going home.
This is a trip, yeah. Then they fucking just like that's it.
Jaqen responds with a nod and a barely perceptible smile, and she walks away.
He didn't say He doesn't say anything, nothing. Like, what the whole fucking point was that story about?
Thank you.
Like, if that's the way they
I
leave
alluded,
it, I don't know,
you know,
I don't know if they like, because I said I haven't seen it yet in the next episode, but still,
I wrote a pointless storyline. This is my problem with the story, and I've alluded to it leading up to this moment. I remember. I thank you. You validated my opinion.
But you never said anything.
I didn't, but I did allude to it in previous episodes. I said I'm like I wasn't I did say I wasn't completely satisfied in where we go with this storyline. And that's why I think it's very pointless. I honestly don't, Jay, I'm going to tell you right now, I don't know. I'm interested to see the next 2 seasons to see if there's anything actually added to it. But other than maybe picking up some additional skills, I feel that this was just, we don't know what to do with this character this season. And like, you know what I mean? This story may have happened in the books, but I just don't understand. The only thing this would have taught her is how to look like other people. Like, honestly, that's the only takeaway.
Yeah, exactly.
I feel that's the only takeaway from this story, but it seems like a waste of a whole fucking season storyline for her to learn that.
You could think about it as a growing up thing, how to learn how to grow up by yourself now if you're not with nobody.
Right. It's just part of her journey. But pointless though. Kind of pointless though. Kind of pointless. I thought, yeah, right? Kind of pointless.
It's not that you said it. I thought that, but then I also said, I haven't seen the rest of the series yet. I don't know what the fuck goes on, right? So I didn't really, but I said, if this is how it just ends with him meeting her and she goes back to being Arya Stark.
Like I said, it's a bit of a spoiler because I honestly don't know if it did add anything to this rest of the season. But maybe I forget because I'm telling you.
I mean, I'm still wondering about the washing of the bodies, all that. I know that's like a funeral scene, or who knows? Like, I feel like that could be a fucking funeral home.
I honestly think the only thing that this added was that she picked up some additional skills on her journey,
like fighting,
and which is something. No eyes. It is something, but is it really worth spending a whole season talking about? I don't know.
Maybe it's a throw-off story. Maybe it's a filler. I don't know.
I just feel like
maybe there's more in the books.
Everything leading up to this point with her has been very interesting, and this was just like interesting, but it ultimately felt like it led to, and then Jaqen doesn't even bother taking her out. Like, it was just like, really?
That's what I thought was coming, right? When he came in, I was like, oh, she's fucked.
Yeah, I don't know. And then, I mean, clearly she wasn't into being like them because she fucking went back on her whole decision to kill that woman. And she's like, no, I'm Arya. Fuck you guys. Right. And then I was just like, that seems like Arya. Yeah, no, but that seems like Arya. Yeah. But like, I was like, why even get started with these guys in the first place? It seems very weird. Right. And to be honest, we really haven't seen her transform into anybody. Right.
Yeah.
I mean, we've seen her dress up and act like different people. Did we see her transform anybody? I don't think we.
No, but she had the things on her ears, but she was just a person. She was not, but she didn't have a different.
Yeah, she had the bun and everything. I don't
think it ever showed her as a different face.
I don't remember that.
No, I don't think it ever showed her as a different face.
Did she? I don't think so.
I don't, unless, like I said, unless that's how she came out to other people looking like, you know what I mean?
She apparently,
but to us,
she got. I mean, Jaqen said she got to the point where he was satisfied that she was no one. So that must mean that she's acquired some set of skills, right? Yeah. Like, she was ready to kill that person, but she just didn't go through with it, right?
Well, I mean, she killed her fucking top person right now, so that was maybe that's the
right.
thing.
Well, that's why he was pissed off. He was just like, oh, fuck. And I think he was hoping that she would stay there, but she was like, no, I'm done with this. Like, right?
Maybe she was supposed to be her right-hand man or whatever.
No, this is it. I'll tell you right now, this is the end of this storyline. This is the end. And I mean, it's pretty, it is. So.
Which is a real trip, right? Because you don't usually get that, right? You
don't
usually get that feeling anywhere, right? So
there you have it. That's No One, episode 8 of season 6 of Game of Thrones. Good. It was a good episode. I liked it, but like, I can't wait to talk about the next episode, the Battle of the Bastards, which is episode 9 of season 6, guys. That's
that'll be interesting.
Great episode. Yeah. So stay tuned. As always, we put these out weekly, guys, on Thursday at 8 p.m. and like and subscribe. And thank you for everyone once again checking them out. And Jay, good stuff. It was a good conversation. And yeah, we'll see you guys next week as always. And let's hear us out with this music, guys. See you next time.
Yeehaw.